Hi, my name is Marwan. I'm a technical developer advocate at Nebius, and in this video, we'll look at how to fine-tune a large language model using LoRA on Nebius Serverless using Axolotl. The goal here is to show a simple and practical way to run fine-tuning jobs without managing infrastructure. We'll use Axolotl's official container, a small configuration file, and a serverless job. Axolotl is a popular framework for fine-tuning large language models. It simplifies many fine-tuning tasks by using a configuration file instead of a custom training code. You describe the model, the dataset, and LoRA settings in a YAML file, and Axolotl handles the rest. In this video, we run Axolotl using Nebius Serverless Jobs. Serverless jobs mean you don't manage virtual machines or GPUs directly. When you start a job, Nebius provisions temporary GPU, runs the workload, streams logs, and then shuts everything down when the job finishes. A simple way to get started with Axolotl in this setup is to use its official Docker image together with a simple config file. And that's exactly what we'll do in this video. Now, let's configure our serverless AI job. I go to the left navigation sidebar and click on Jobs, then Create Job. For the image path, I choose the Axolotl image from Docker Hub. This image already includes the full training stack, so no additional setup is required inside the container. Next, I define the container arguments. I define the entry point as bash, because this allows me to pass a shell command using -c, which will execute the full training workflow inside the container. Then, I define the container arguments. I provide a -c command that runs Axolotl train with my YAML configuration file. After training completes, the same command copies the output directory into a timestamped folder inside the mounted storage path. This ensures each run is saved separately and previous outputs are not overwritten. After that, I select the GPU platform and preset based on the model size and expected training load. Finally, I mount my object storage bucket into this container. And I choose my existing bucket that I already prepared. This allows Axolotl to read the configuration file and write checkpoints and outputs directly to the persistent storage. After that, I choose my SSH key and click on Create. I see now that my job is being created and provisioning. Let's have a look at what's inside the configuration file. This file defines the base model, the dataset, and the LoRA parameters, as well as training settings like batch size and number of steps. In this small example, Axolotl will download the base model and the dataset at runtime. This keeps the setup simple. For real or repeated training workflows, it's usually better to store models and dataset in object storage in advance to avoid downloading them every time. For this video, I'm using an existing object storage bucket. This bucket here is used to store the Axolotl configuration file and to persist the training outputs. Once the job finishes, anything written to object storage remains available. Now I can see that my job is running. When the job runs, Nebius creates a temporary GPU virtual machine that you can get access to through your SSH key, pulls the Axolotl image, and mounts the object storage bucket. Axolotl then downloads the base model and dataset, runs LoRA fine-tuning on the GPU, and writes the adapter weight to your object storage bucket. While the job is running, logs are streamed directly into the UI, where you can also check them. Once our training finishes and our job is complete, the job stops and the GPU VM is automatically shut down. Now, I can go back to my object storage bucket, and here I can see the LoRA adapter weights written to the output directory. These adapters can now be reused for inference or further experimentation. Let's quickly recap what we did in this video. You fine-tuned the large language model using LoRA with Axolotl running entirely on Nebius Serverless. You used the official Docker image, a simple configuration YAML file, and object storage to persist the results, without managing any infrastructure. And note that the same workflow can also be run using the Nebius CLI if you prefer a command line approach. Thank you for watching.